be under the tutelage of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan through that whole process. So I mean, let me know, what was you doing when you was in Boston with your brother and the minister?
In Boston, my brother, I told you he was a Stooges type brother. I was kind of new, and I didn't really go there to stay. But I ended up, once I heard Mr. Farrakhan teach when I met my brother, I decided, I asked my brother, could I stay for a while? But I didn't have no place to stay. So he was staying in the FY house. And plus, the FY house consisted of the captain, the first officer. My brother was the captain's assistant, the captain's secretary. He was also in the system with the secretary of the mosque. So he was kind of in the mix of that. And they told me, I mentioned it to someone I was staying with my brother, and the brother told me, you can't stay with your brother, because you're not even, he said, your brother is staying with the officials. You just coming to the mosque. So anyway, they told me that they don't know how I got into staying in the house. But, was it Jabber? Remember Jabber? Jabber. Clarence was his name. And so, and Ronald, you know Ronald. And Ronald came here, where he's with the E-team. Ronald came here. He moved to Chicago later on, but Ronald came here and spoke. But Ronald lived in the FY house too. And but my brother became Mr. Farrakhan's assistant minister. And he became minister in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. So Wednesdays and Fridays, he would teach in Rhode Island and come back. So he became an assistant, one of Mr. Farrakhan's assistant ministers. So what I did was just, I just wanted to learn from hearing now with Mr. Farrakhan, because he would teach sometimes 4, 5, 6 hours, and he never lose it. I mean, never miss a beat. Never repeat it. We just, so you really could learn so much from the wisdom that he had, and I you live in the FY house, you got to perform. You can't be sitting around. You got to be productive. So you had to take your quota, you had to do all those kind of things. There was 300 people with the quota at that particular time. And so I got a job in the fruit market. One of the brothers owned the market, and he let me work for him. So I paid my rent. So I worked with him, and mainly what I did was just push the program. I just made enough money to pay the rent, but all other time I was pushing to my area. We had everybody was assigned a particular area. They had enough customers in there so you could get your 300 customers. You have maybe 500, 600 families, but in those families you got to get 300 customers out of it. So if you don't work smart and try to get them on there, you have to go all over town trying to find them. And you can't be doing that when it's 5 degrees, snow's up to, you want to try to find the closest place to your house as possible to make it happen. So Allah blessed me to be able to, maybe about 270 customers. I worked up to that point and get to that, those customers. So my main thing was training. I got my training before I trained. I became the captain as first officer. Then I came back to the mosque. Next day, I came to the mosque. I didn't want to sit down because I saw there was too many other things that needed to be done. So I asked the captain, is something I can do to work before the meeting started? Still just sitting there? Because there's lots of things need to be done. So he said, what do you want to do? I said, well, there's a coat room in there. People, brothers come in with their coats, they just throw them down. That needs to be organized. So So he said, okay, we can do that. So I went out, looked there, so went down to the place, bought some coat racks, numbers, put hangers. So I organized the coat room. He said, oh, we're doing organized. I said, I got that done. Anything else I have to do? They said, well, why don't you just organize? So anyway, I'll kind of drag this thing out. Anyway, then I started working with the secretary, with Al. He said he needs some help, so I helped the secretary. But I know I was getting training to really help train other men. So that's all that training went through. Because I think the training I got in Boston was so organized compared to what the other laws had been in, that I attribute that to my still being here today, the training we got, because it was structured. We had, when it came to orientation, we had 8 weeks to get out of orientation. It was an infinite operation. You could take it the rest of your life, get orientation. And then you had to read certain books along with your lessons. Duty role, general orders, actual facts, apprehending people, Dale Carnegie, influence of people, because we had to deal with people. You had to join organizations. I think I joined the Urban League, because every FY had to be a part of some other organization. So that's part of our strategy or structure, getting people, okay. So we joined other organizations, and by us having this high wisdom, we have their meetings, the ideas we come up with, they look at them like, where did that idea from? And then eventually they said, oh, you should come join us. I said, okay, we joined. So we joined them, and Brother Aubrey was the secretary. When they had the elections, all the FY would go to the elections. It was democratic. The majority wins. So since we were more FY was most people there, we voted for Brother Aubrey. So he got to be secretary of the operation. So we got to be intermixed. But I was learning strategies of warfare, getting into the same thing at the same time. So that whole process was what I found to be the ideal structure, that we had to have a timeline for each progress, and not just have unlimited time that you're going to do these particular things. And even in the FOI class, you can't just be an FOI. You got to be a certain section of the FOI, and that's what it is come to now with the ministries. See, by me being in the Army, I was a clerk in the Army, so I had to handle all of them. I knew everybody's operation. So I said, that's what we need to have here. We need something to have an organizational structure like the military had. And everybody don't do the same thing, because you can't grow so fast, so far like that. But everybody got to specialize in certain fields of endeavor. So you're gonna be an engineer, somebody will be medics, somebody will be this, somebody. But they're all in the Army, and none above the other. They're all soldiers. So that's the concept I brought with me. That's why I didn't like the Army. I was thankful to Allah that He blessed me to go to the Army once I came in the nation, because I could see how that organization structure was so important. And then there was a brother named Brother Rodney, who was Brother Ronald's brother, who wrote up with the meaning of FOI, the fruit is the best, he's concentrated. He wrote that and sent it to Chicago. The minister liked it and adapted it, and said it's been that way ever since. But Brother Rodney was the one who did that. And Rodney was a very, he's like the type of brother that was out in the street with the people, but he had a very creative mind, structure-wise. So his structure, what we adopted